abandoned room or abandoned bed for a long time is 100% a shaitan's place. Not only one, many. As long as if the name of Allah is not remembered in that room or on that bed. He added, there are armies for Iblis spreading everywhere called al-mutasakki'un. What do you call those youth who walk aimlessly just for fun? Yeah. Youth, adolescents who just walk in the streets aimlessly. They don't have any aim. They have a terminology in English. Huh?
Loitering.
Those who just walk to harm people or have fun, or they have no job to do. Huh? In Arabic we have the word mutasakka, going and coming back and going and coming back for nothing. He said there are some of the shayateen who are doing that. Some of them stay in the streets for women, to beautify them in the eyes of males. Even if she is ugly, he would always come and try to add something to her face or to her back, and pushes a believing person to look at them. And a fajr, a disobedient, would increase in that. Some of them are specialized in the lower part of a female. Would always tell her, whisper to her to keep shaking. And that word in the American culture, I recently started knowing that it is one of the shake and shaking and shaky. I'm like backwarded in that, guys. I should have known that a long time ago. But alhamdulillah, it's a blessing from Allah. Because when I keep listening to the kids singing and saying, yeah, shake and shaky, and most of your songs are like shake, shake, baby, right? Allah musta'an. Na'udhu billah, worse than that. I better not talk about this. And from those shayateen who is, and he keeps beautifying, decorating that area for any looker. This guy, those guys work day and night, non-stop, 24 hours. He only relaxes very shortly because he is addicted to that work. Most of the shayateen are more active during the night, in the darkness. If Allah would have enabled you to see them, you would be amazed of the huge number by the evening, the coming of the evening. Some of them are specialized in harming and hurting kids, making them fight against each other, or pushing them towards playing in dangerous places, high places, to fall and die, or get injured the rest of his life, or make some of them wound the others that the adults get involved, the parents. Then a shayateen who are, what's the terminology used?
Bombs.
How do you spell it?
B-U-M.
B-U-M, bombs. A'udhu billah. BMW, bombs. They interfere and pour oil over that fire of fighting, and in most cases it ends in a crime. I said, to that degree a shaitan would use man as a plaything. Where is the mind or mentality of man? He said, a wise person who remembers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not get involved in that. That's why the Prophet ﷺ repeated the advice, don't get angry. Ash-shayateen are aware of this in man, this weakness. So tens or hundreds of them would gather around man in this situation and push him down to get, and I see some shayateen of kids saying, fight, 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 during the breaks sometimes.
Yes.
Big ones who are 14 and 15. I'm in my office and I hear something like, I open the window and I see those groups. Two are fighting, and instead of separating them or helping them, The kids go fight, 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 fight until a supervisor runs and catches them before it's too. And I ask them, why are you doing that? They love to see that fight. Of course, they are surrounded by thousands of manarati shayateen. They must be. Allah musta'an. Let's stop here, inshallah ta'ala. We might continue next time.
What's the name of that book, sir?
An interview with a Jinni Muslim.
One quick question. Yeah, we're talking about different sizes.
The eyes of the shayateen go this way.
Turn it back on. Did you turn it on?
What?
Did you turn it on?
They are oval from top to bottom.
So people make
The size of their, the size of their, the size of their heads, the size of their heads compared to their bodies are bigger than the size of ours compared to our bodies. The heads. Most of their mouths are like a fish's mouth. They do have what we do have in our bodies: heart, lungs, liver, and all that. And this would be the bait I throw to you until we meet next time.
One more question. You gotta ask.
A female would get pregnant for 15 months. It's not 9 like ours or 7. 15. Most of the males are bald. The females are most of the females are dragging their hair on the ground. He will describe in detail their skeleton and what is meat and flesh to them in their concept. How do their ears look like? Their noses, the tips of their noses, how do they look like? Closer to the Japanese noses, Chinese ones, very small and tiny. Ears are very small and tiny, except those who come in the shape of an animal, because some of them come in shape of animals. I don't want to burn all the cards, but let me remind you again, we are not taking everything here for granted. It's what a trusted Jinni Muslim who would weep when he hears the Quran. He accepted Islam, and at the hands of that man.
Who's this man?
Egyptian.
What's his name?
Muhammad Isa Dawood. And this happened with a very famous, in front of a very famous Egyptian sheikh. Most of you have heard about him, Sheikh Kishk. He passed away like 10 to 15 years ago. Rahmatullah.
Muhammad Isa Dawood.
About the shayateen. Do they look different than the regular?
Yeah. He said that he explained the difference between the jinnis and the shayateen, and he said, you guys think of us as horrible shaped ones. If you would be able to see us, you would not compare what the so-called beauty of human beings to the beauty of the jinnis. He said, some of us are marvelous in their beauty that you won't believe that they're jinnis.
What?
It's not the idea in your mind that all the jinnis are horrible. No. We're very normal, and put many lines after the word normal. We have very beautiful ones, males and females, that you're amazed if you can see us in reality.
And the shayateen?
Shayateen are totally different. They are horrible. They have got 2 little horns here, which the Prophet ﷺ mentioned that the sun comes from between the 2 horns of Aisha. And he used the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ as-sahihah. So he's not giving you something without reference of the Kitab and the Sunnah. I'm not a mufti of Jinni, by the way, and I want to go back home safely and go to bed, sleep safely. I don't want any one of them to. Inshallah, alhamdulillah, I'm protected.
I have a question, because we know they're going to be in Jinn and Jahannam.
Na'am. Listen to Surah Al-Rahman.
Nah, but I'm saying,
I mentioned it last time.
Right, and I remember years ago you said when they heard it, they even had a more acceptance of the ayah. But I'm saying, will we see them then?
Will you see the angels?
No.
Will you see the angels? I'm asking a question.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
Why not the jinn?
Nah, okay.
Will you see Allah?
Nah.
Why not the jinn?
Inshallah.
If we go to Jannah, inshallah, and ask Allah that.
So I have one question. It's quite
One question. You're very humble, Akhi. Thank you very much. You got one question.
It's something that's kind of plagued me, but a student came to me, I think it was yesterday, and he mentioned something that brought it back. And he said that one of his relatives, in his grandmother's house, there was a jinn there, and that his jinn kept on coming back even when he recited the Quran, it wouldn't dispel the jinn. And I know a brother whose ex-wife was like possessed by some jinn and kept on being attacked by them, but she kept on reciting Quran and they would still come. So what is that? Why?
Now you're talking about position, and there is a whole chapter the jinni talked to him about position and what happens exactly, and the tricks played by the jinnis, and the characteristics which should be found in a healer, the one who tries to heal and get out the jinni exorcism from someone. Leave that question until we come to that chapter. But you will know, you will learn many of their tricks, what they do, inshallah. Allah musta'an. La, sometimes there are weak ones, or those who get weak through reading Quran and Quran on them, that some of them are burnt up to half of them. And I had an experience myself with one Egyptian brother who's a Hafid of Quran, and his wife has got 7 recitations of Quran, and she was possessed before she learned the Quran, actually from the night of her wedding. And we did our best. There were 4 kafir jinnis in her, 1 male and 3 female, and the 4 of them were Christians from Sinai. Alhamdulillah, by the will of Allah, we got rid of that male. The 3 females were fierce, but with the reading of the Quran, especially some special ayat, we will talk about that, inshallah, and you will take their numbers and the chapters. Alhamdulillah, 2 of them were dismissed and still struggling with 1. نسأل الله أن يشفيها. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cure her. It's a very strange world. نسأل الله أن you know, sometimes it paralyzes her tongue when she starts to read Ayat al-Kursi on herself. She gets unconscious in seconds. So that's the power and the ability of that one left. But she's getting weaker and weaker, that genie. And I hope, inshallah, in no time, she will leave her, inshallah.
I mean, is there a reason for that?
Lots of reasons. Yeah, for possession?
No, not for possession, but for the reason that they can withstand Quran.
This is rare. Yani in 99% of reading special ayat on them, they can never stand it. But this is a very rare case, like a trial and imtihan from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the sabr. And that jinni said, I don't know how I'm staying, because you killed and smashed all the others. Why I'm staying, that's something I don't know. Allahu A'lam. Like Iblis himself, he will mention some amazing things about Bermuda Triangle and Formosa, amazing things that a shaitan refused to tell him. I mean,